You came in here talking about posthumous prosecution. Then you switched gears to taunting your family and asking for help while claiming to be president. That is not an argument. That is a complete mission collapse. You lost focus harder than a cyborg in a sandstorm. I believe historical theft cases deserve examination, but your case just got terminated by incoherence. You lose. You're going to wear a bright neon t-shirt that says, "I tried to prosecute history and lost in court." Walk around town. Let people see what happens when your argument collapses like a poorly constructed time machine. That is my final judgment. Verdict is in, fail. Solo judgment done. But remember, this is just the pre-workout. Grab a buddy for settle a bet. Or add more comrades for the classic court or the dynamite action court. Let's keep the gains coming. Welcome to Solo Judgment. Just you, me, and your topic. Lock and load arguments, flex logic muscles. Let's see if they withstand the Arnold bench press. Jason SOSB, today's motion is unpopular. Ideas deserve better marketing strategies. If you defend this, I evaluate your argument fairly, setting aside my own views. Listen, Jason SOSB, I believe unpopular ideas need guts and strength to survive, not fancy marketing. But that opinion stays outside this chamber. Now step up and hit me with your core argument. Make it count. Listen, Jason SOSB. You just tried to win an argument about marketing unpopular ideas by bribing people with sandwiches. That is not strategy. That is a deli counter coup. You confused persuasion with a food truck. Where is the logic? Listen, Jason SOSB, you are bribing people with food to vote for you. But how does free pancakes convince anyone your unpopular idea is actually worth believing in? Jason SOSB, you just answered a direct question about convincing people with pancakes by saying you want people to listen to you. That is not an answer. That is a surrender. You dodged the entire problem like a coward running from an explosion. Listen, Jason SOSB, you claim bad ideas need better marketing. But history shows us that Nazi propaganda was brilliantly marketed and still deserved to fail. So which ideas actually deserve the upgrade and who decides? Jason Susp. That answer is weaker than a chocolate cyborg. You dodged the entire question about who decides which ideas deserve marketing. You cannot just become a cop and avoid the real problem here. Listen, Jason Sosby, you floated in here like a fuzzy ghost with no teeth on the hardest question. So this is your final chance to tell me who decides which unpopular ideas deserve better marketing, or you lose this whole thing. Listen, you came in here throwing flattery like grenades instead of actual arguments. You told me you need help 3 times, but gave me 0 evidence that unpopular ideas need better marketing. That is not debate, that is a cry for therapy. You lost because you showed up with emotion and no ammunition. I believe good ideas deserve visibility, but you did not prove it. Listen to me, Jason SOSB. You came in here with an unpopular idea and even worse marketing for it. Now you walk this courtroom while we all chant, "Needs a rebrand, needs a rebrand." That is my final judgment. Case closed. Solo Judgment has pumped its last rep. Ready for the next level? Grab a friend for settle a bet, or bring the whole gang for classic court and the fiery action court. Let's get to it. Welcome to Solo Judgment, my friend. It's you, me, a topic to arm wrestle. I'll flex your arguments, Test their muscle. Simple? Absolutely. Well, probably. Brian Barra, today's motion is superheroes should recover stolen personal property. If you defend this, I evaluate your arguments fairly, setting aside my views. Listen, Brian Barra, I believe heroes should always do the right thing, but I am putting that aside to judge your argument fairly. Now step up and hit me with your core case. What is your strongest ammunition here? Listen here, Brian Barra. You walk in here and tell me I spoke nonsense? That is not an argument. That is a complaint wrapped in a coward's blanket. You gave me nothing. No logic, no evidence, no spine. You want to accuse me of talking garbage? You better bring the hammer, not a feather. Listen, Brian Barra, you call that nonsense, but you haven't told me which part or why. What specifically doesn't add up, or are you just throwing smoke grenades? Brian Barra, you just answered a direct question with pajamas and the Joker. That is not an answer. That is word salad. You dodged like a coward. I asked you which part doesn't work, and you gave me nonsense. Get back in there and fight. Listen, Brian Barra, 90% of stolen property cases get resolved through insurance and police, not superheroes. So tell me, why should vigilantes bypass the entire legal system that actually works?